All right, so again, my name is Christina Floyd. I am an IATAN card holder. I've been with Archer for about 2.5 years, and if you've taken that, there was a recent survey that came out about your leadership style, and I thought for sure I was an Urchant, which is organized and detailed and to the T, and well, that came up second for me. So I'm a big person who likes to be organized, who likes to have systems in place, and it's a lot in the beginning, to be honest. So I thought that this might be a really great training for helping new agents get organized and get started. So that QR code, if you want to scan that, that will also open up a Google Drive that I like to share with a whole bunch of cheat sheets and blank spreadsheets and different things to kind of keep you organized. And we're going to go through those as well today. So our agenda, we're going to look at our main sites. This will look really, really familiar from new agent orientation, but I will be honest, I think it took me a good part of a year to know the difference between back office, travel cafe, and travel site. So I always like to just go over those really briefly and what's what. Then we're going to talk about getting organized, and so systems in place for how to keep track of suppliers, how to keep track of clients, et cetera. And then a whole bunch of cheat sheets and just things that I've collected over the years that I think are super helpful to just have at your fingertips when you're making bookings, when you're talking to clients, when you're investigating suppliers, all of those different things. So, and that's where you're going to find most of these things on the Google Drive that I share. Okay, so here's our back office. This is what it looks like when you log in, and this is the table of contents, if you will, on the side there. This is where you're accessing your initial training. This is where you'll find any corporate trainings. And this is kind of your gateway to your travel site and to your travel cafe. So you always have to log in here first and then go to those other two. This is also where you're going to find Evo Plus and Evo Rewards. And this is also where you're going to find your team. So if you have any questions or you're curious about who your upline is, this is where you're going to find that as well. A lot of these other things are helpful and useful, maybe here or there, but those are the things that you're going to be coming back to regularly. If you were curious about, are there other agents near me? There's also a spot right there, so active agents by state. If you are attending convention, there's information about convention. And this is also where you're going to find any information about your personal account and what you owe and your due date and things like that. And we can take a gander through some of these things, Joe. This is your travel site. So when it comes to travel site, think of it as all things commission. That's the way I think about it. It is where people can go to your site and search for their own things and their own deals. They can request a quote from you. They can look at, it's pre-populated with different deals and things like that. But this is where you are going to mainly be utilizing the commissions hub, and we can take a look at that as well a little bit later too. So again, a lot of this is going to look familiar from new agent orientation, but this is just like a kind of overview of how to think about it a little bit differently. This is where you're also going to find your personal profile. You're going to find FAQs. You're going to find instructions for business cards. You're going to find other things like that in your travel site. Ash does a really great video on how to keep your profile updated. So that's something to look out for. If you don't know Ash, and subscribe to her YouTube channel because she has a lot of amazing resources. So here's your travel cafe. A way to think about this is all things Archer. So this is ADP and FAQs. This is supplier information. They have trainings and deals. They have forms. So your credit card authorization form is going to be here. If you are booking travel within 21 days and you are curious as to what vendors require extra steps, you're going to find all of that in the travel cafe. And again, we can take a look right here. If Jose is live, which he is right now, it's kind of fun to see him live on Facebook, but then it also streams here in the Travel Cafe. So sometimes he'll he'll kind of look at himself in a delayed form. It's kind of fun. And again, you're going to learn all these people's names, and it's nice to put, when we are on trainings together, to put faces and voices to these names that we hear all the time. So. All right, so here's a kind of point where I like to talk about getting organized. How are you keeping track of suppliers? How are you keeping track of clients? What templates do you have? How are you sending out quotes? How are you sending confirmations? How are you preparing a client for a trip? What are you doing after their trip? So in the agent resources, Google Drive, this is where I have some blank tracking forms for you. So we'll take a look here. So supplier tracker. And this is a blank version of what I use. You can always save a copy for yourself and edit it for however it works for you, but I have it kind of separated by what that supplier has to offer and their website. Then I have a space for my username and password, because they are all going to be slightly different. And I don't want to keep all of that in my mind. So I keep a lovely little spreadsheet. The ones in yellow, I have kind of said, or kind of think that those are really good to start with. So if there are a ton of suppliers. But if you kind of start with these ones that are in yellow, you get a nice mix of insurance, activities, accommodations, cruises, and packages. So those ones in yellow are definitely the ones where you want to maybe start first, start investigating, and then you can, of course, add as you go. I even find now, almost 3 years in, that I'm still adding more and more suppliers as I go. So Ferry Hopper was a pretty recent one. I might have a client who says, oh, I want to rent a villa. What should I do there? So villas, those two villas were kind of newer additions to my supplier list as well. So this can be a breathing, living document as you get started. How are you keeping track of clients? I have a Google form that for qualifying my clients. And what happens is it turns it into, you can open it in spreadsheets form. So Google's really nice that way, that all of your form responses will come up here. Of course, I filled it out just for myself so you could see what it looks like. But once you create a Google form to qualify your clients, you can then open it up in Sheets, and it will have all of your client information readily available for you. Another thing that I do is, we do have the commissions hub, but I like to track my own commissions as well. So for instance, I do date booked, end date of travel, what's that 60 to 90 days out timeline, so I know when to kind of expect it. Or if I realize, wait a minute, I didn't get that, now I can go back to it. Who the client was, who the vendor was, what it was, the total amount. Did I fill out my commission form? What was the commission amount? Here's my 80%. Was it paid? The confirmation number and the EVO tracking number. So the EVO tracking number being the number you receive after you've submitted it to the commissions hub. This way, if I realize I haven't gotten a commission that I was supposed to or expecting, I can go to that form in the travel site and in the commissions hub and say, where's my commission? And I have all the information I need to fill out that form and say, hey, where's my commission? Let's see. All right. There's a couple of other things that I have in here too related to customer management, just depending on how you like to do it. If you're familiar with tracking customers, you might have your own way, but this is another way of tracking it. Also do timelines. So if there was a lead and how and when did you follow up, that can be helpful in keeping track of who do you need to maybe follow up with. All All right. So what other ideas or ways do you guys have for tracking clients or for keeping track of suppliers? You can put it in the chat, you can come off mute.
That's super helpful. Thank you, Christina. I was on another agent orientation, and they also dropped in kind of a sheet. So I've been using that sheet for the supplier guides, but yours is great as well. So either one I think is super helpful. And I love the idea of the sheet tracking the clients. So when they start to come in, I think that's great as well. So thank you.
Great, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways. There are supplier guides, which this is a team document. To be honest, I'm not sure when it was last updated, but it talks about our preferred suppliers, what they cover, how much commission they give. So here's another supplier guide as well. Yeah. Good. Yeah, it's all about kind of finding what works for you. I was, especially in the beginning, a big believer in keeping my overhead down and utilizing free resources. So, Google has a lot of good forms and ways to stay organized. So I love that too. I think, maybe as I get more busy, maybe thinking about, Travelify or TravelJoy, but especially starting out, like to keep it low cost and what's free and what's available.
Definitely. Do you, everybody keeps pushing Canva to kind of create the quotes and things like that. So I have now, so I work in Canva for my website and for other things, but I'm just starting to get it ramped up for travel. So I have my new logo and things like that. How do you do quotes? I'd love to hear about that. And how do you like cut and paste, like say from Expedia Tap? How do you put that in? Like, do you give them all the details? Like I've seen different things. People give a lot of info about the property and hyperlinks, and then some are just like, nope, here's the hotel. If they want to Google it themselves, that's fine. So I'm curious to hear what you do.
That's an excellent question. Yes, because I've seen it a lot of different ways too, right? I use Canva a lot. I made this presentation in Canva, but I have the free version. I don't have the pro version. I find that I can do enough in the free version, which is nice. For quotes, I'll show you what I actually use. So here's actually this is all the templates I have. So here's my quote template where I organize it by name, what quote it is, date, who it's for, what the options are, and just personalize it. What I like about using a Google Doc is that I can share this with the client and make them a commenter so they can say, oh, I like this, I like that, I don't like this, I don't like that. And then we kind of go back and forth and I can do different iterations of it. So that's why this number changes too. I've gone all the way up to like maybe 3 or 4 different versions before we get it just right. But it allows this opportunity for us to have this ongoing back and forth conversation in this living document, which I really like. I also do like even before that. So we haven't even gotten, we're just planning what your itinerary might be. So I have that kind of as a template as well. Once we go back and forth, once we book, I put everything in one spot. When talking about how I present the information specifically, let me see who recently went somewhere. That's a good one to show. Let's see. But the Johnson family went to Italy. They just got back. Oh, they're getting back today. But this is what I sent them. So we talked about trains and the different classes. we talked, so this has already been kind of through the back and forth, and we eliminated some of these hotels. So typically what I'll do is I'll say, this is a screenshot directly from Expedia tab, but I usually don't give the name. I'll say what neighborhood it's in, what star it is, what's included, what size bed, what size room, how many are left, differences in rooms. Like this particular hotel had different sizes for different prices, kind of where they're located. This is the one they settled on, which I love. So it just kind of depends. So yeah, and here's our kind of our back and forth about where we're staying. So it just, sometimes it depends on the client. Something that I'll also do is I will get on a Zoom call with them. Depends on how involved they like to be, right? So a couple of clients that I have, they like to be very involved. So I will get on a Zoom with them. I will share my screen. I will have open up all the options from Expedia tab. We can run through all the photos. We can look at the different room types, and they'll say, yeah, I want that one. And we'll go through all their cities and just boop, boop, boop. And then I'll do the credit card information form. I'll get their credit card, and then I'll book it all on the side. So there's a couple of different ways that you could do it. Then I have another client who just, I sent her options through Tour Radar. I like this one, let's go book it. I trust you. So I don't even have to send her options. And those are kind of easy too. So it just kind of depends on your client, I think, honestly. Yeah, but good questions. I always do a pre-trip thing as well. So what are some things to know? What that looks like for me is, so what does that look like? What do they need to know about their destination, about safety, getting around, the time zone that they're in, the outlets that they use? Do they need plugs? What's customary for tipping? Anything they should know about the language, their weather, what might they expect for their weather? So I do send that, before they go, about a week before they go out. And then to follow up, I usually send a text or an email saying, hope it was great, how was it? And then I also send them a postcard that I had made in Canva, actually, with my photos and my logo, and send them a little postcard just saying, hope you had a great time, think of us for your next trip, kind of thing. So that's how I tend to follow up. Yeah. And as you can see, like all of my clients have their own folder. When their trip is over, I move them. If they're repeat, they kind of stay in that folder. I do have a lot of repeat customers, so that's nice too. All right, so let's get to some of these other things, right, that we see in here. So agent perks, we talk about that all the time. What are some agent perks that we can access, that we have? So I created a little cheat sheet, and this is information that I've received throughout the years from a lot of different sources. So there's a lot of different information, how to find out about Carnival rates, how to use Evo rewards, how to use Tickets at Work as an alternative, how to find Sam trips, where to find Disney perks. What are some companies that have certification sites or training things that then result in perks? So Marriott, for example, has excellent rates, but you do need to have a CLIA or an IATAN card at check-in. Virgin has a good one. Princess, once you finish their trainings, they give you basically a free cruise. And it is an inside cabin, but you can always upgrade for very, very minimal. So there's a lot of different perks there that you can do. But there's a whole big list here that you can look at and discover. There's also another one. There's another one down here. And this has a little bit more in depth about which companies have what. So Universal, for example, Cunard as well. Different tourism boards will have some different perks and trainings and things. I'm currently going through the one for Croatia, because I know at the end they also offer some familiarization trips just like Jamaica, so I'm hoping to do that. But this one's really great. This one has it kind of broken down by company. Quick note about IATAN. So you're going to hear that a lot and may not know what that means. So if in a 12-month period you earn a minimum of $5,000 in commission, you are eligible to receive your IATAN card. This is a agent credential that gets you even more perks on top of that. It's a pretty important credential, and people really work hard to earn it. So it's quite notable when one does. So there's also in the drive. There's also in the drive a little cheat sheet about IATAN. So what does that mean? What are the benefits of having your own card? So if you think that you in a 12, that's another reason why I track my own commissions as well, because if you think you're close to that 5,000 in the 12-month period, reach out to your mentor, and they can get you connected with Carol over at Archer that will help verify it and will help get that process rolling for you. Okay, so that's perks. Rewards. So
Christina?
This is a recent thing that yes.
So on the IATAN card, that's in not a calendar year, but just so example, I signed up July 14th, so that'll be kind of my year time frame, or can we pick the time frame that we want?
It's any 12-month period.
Okay.
So so you know, I was kind of a slow starter. It took me a couple of months to kind of really get my feet going. Tried it out on myself even. And then once I kind of hit, I started in March, kind of hit by summer. And then I was like, you know what, I think I might be able to do this. So let me look back. And it turns out, so I actually earned my IATAN card in October of 24. So it's just the past 12-month period. So keeping track of it, thinking, you know, it's not necessarily from your sign-up date, but from whatever date you inquire with Carol, the 12 months before, and she'll take a look and see.
Perfect.
So that's another reason
great.
for keeping.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's another reason for keeping track of your commissions, because you could say like, ooh, you know, I might earn this with that biking cruise I got. So that's something to kind of keep it.
Okay.
Yeah. So another new thing that I kind of stumbled upon, I don't even know how I stumbled upon this, but if you are not already, and again, this is reminiscent of New Agent Orientation, if you are not in the Evolution Facebook groups and our team Facebook groups, and I believe there's an Archer Facebook group as well, please be in those as well, because a lot of leaders from around the company do post about different things. So Coach Val, I stumbled upon one of her posts recently. She does a bonus cash training, and I dropped her things in here with her permission, of course. She does a video on how to sign up with reward programs so that you can register your bookings and earn rewards for making bookings. So she came up with this wonderful, very long cheat sheet to kind of help you. And the one that I will point out, it is a lot, but the one that I will point out is mybookingrewards.com. This one has about 23 different reward programs that really, if you book any hotel or really anything, any cruise, anything like that, you can go online, enter in the information about the booking, and it will automatically apply it to whatever eligible reward program is in there. So there's, like I said, there's 23 different ones, and you can earn free nights. You can earn points that can be redeemed for free nights or gift cards or cash even. So this is something to really, I've kind of dipped my toe in it. This is something to really dive into soon. And she created this wonderful cheat sheet too with their takeaways and big things to look out for. So to set you up for that. I did put in this document is the link to her video that talks about it. Expedia Tap also has a rewards program. So that's once you're enrolled in that, once you sign up with Expedia Tap, be sure to enroll in their rewards program, and that is automatic. So any booking you do in Expedia Tap will automatically be applied. I think I have like maybe 14,000 points already, just by booking, and I can redeem it soon for a $50 gift card. So I'm kind of excited about that. Let's see. Affiliate sites. Let's talk about affiliate sites. So there are quite a few suppliers that offer free affiliate sites where you can, when you hear that term, making money in your sleep, this is where that comes from. So obviously we have our Evolution Travel websites that can earn us passive income, but there's also all of these other suppliers who offer us free affiliate sites. So for instance, Viator is a really good one. I have most of my family who travels a lot. I just sent them my affiliate link and had them bookmark it in their computer. So anytime they go on Viator to look for anything, I'm their travel agent. I'll get an email and I'll earn 10% on their bookings. So these are a lot of really good places to be registered with. You probably are already registered with some of them, but to also get your free affiliate site. And some of these I've even put on my link tree. So if anybody goes to my link tree, they'll see my Evo booking site, they'll see my client questionnaire, they'll see my social media links, and they'll see Viator and Exotica. Exotica has one now too as well. So these are really handy to have as well. Golden Tickets and Events 365 for any sporting events, Sports Events 365 as well. Cruises, so Viking or First Meets. And Diana asked, what is a link tree? So I can show you that as well. Let's just go on over to Linktree, shall we? So this is my Linktree. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. It's a place where you can, if you log in, sign up and log in on the back end, this is also free. You can add as many links as you want. So this is kind of one central place where I can send people to, like I said, fill out my client questionnaire, to go to my Evo site and look for their next adventure. Check out my Instagram. Here are my affiliate links for Exotica and Viator. I also have a essential travel gear Google Doc that was connected to my Amazon. So you can do monetization that way as well. So it's kind of a nice, because we have so many websites that we could direct someone to. I really like Linktree because you can just say, here, go to this one place and start looking around, and you can find all sorts of different things within my company and within my agency too that might attract you.
That's awesome. Thank you. So just a personal question. So I have a website, and on there, I'm going to be making live this weekend my travel page. And so it has my questionnaire on there. It also has my shop, so they can go to Amazon, do that. It has linked to my Instagram. So similar to all of what you have here. And then on that travel page, I was going to start to put like the Viator link, like things like that. So yeah, it sounds like for me, my website's kind of what your Linktree is doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so if you already have that structure, use it. Yeah.
Okay.
And you already have a file. Absolutely. Yeah. It's just, I think sometimes if we don't have a website, right? Like, or if we don't,
right,
we have all pieces, this is a nice free place to put it all. But yeah, in your situation, I would absolutely make it pages within your page. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, that's in there. Let's see. That's a cheat sheet. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I want to make sure I cover. Okay. Yeah, so rewards and affiliate links, and perks. And then we have even more. So let's talk about cheat sheets. Let's see. So info for vendors. This is directly from the Travel Cafe. This is usually information you're going to need. Phone numbers, email addresses, fax numbers, ITAN numbers for the agency. This is really key, especially in the beginning before you memorize some of these other things. So I just kind of have it in this easy place for you. Let's see. Say you want to find a whole home cabin or villa. A lot of the times we do get that question a lot. You know, do we work with Airbnb? No, but we have all of these. So we have cabin rentals, we have Vrbo through Expedia Tab or My Profit Agility, Beds Online, Vacasa, Villas of Distinction, Top Villas, Red Awning. So there's a lot of different ways that you can find whole homes, find cabins, find rental escapes, and all of these companies work with travel agents. So that's another little cheat sheet. What about flights only? Can we make any money on flights? Sure, we can. This is what you do. This is how you can make money on flights. If you don't have Rakuten, you want to get Rakuten because you can use that for flights. One important note about Rakuten, though, do not use Rakuten with a supplier because it will, if you're utilizing Rakuten, it takes you through a third-party site, and so it kind of eliminates that connection with your commission. Plus, it's also kind of seen as double dipping. So only use Rakuten if it's a non-commissionable thing. But Centrav is one of our suppliers where you can make money on flights. They also have a training academy that you can utilize. Lots of people have done videos on this as well. You want to use Archer's credentials, so that's there for you easily as well. So there's a lot of different ways there. Mark also does a good one on flights only, and I can add his video to this as well. Private transfers. Who does private transfers? Here are commissionable ways that you can supply transfers. So Viator, Project Expedition is really nice. They also can do custom if you can't find what you're looking for. That's the other thing I like about Ferry Hopper. They have transfers between ports and hotels downtown, whereas mostly with Viator, you're going to see it from the airport. But Ferry Hopper, Project Expedition does a lot of train stations. There's a lot of different ways that you can do private transfers. Island routes, so maybe getting in a little boat, right? Different types of pickup, car rentals, things like that. Train and rail. What do we know about train and rail? We have Amtrak. Amtrak works with agents. Rail Bookers is a very popular one. I've used them in Europe. Rocky Mountaineer is another one that does Canada and US trains. Rail Europe is a really good one as well. So Diana, when you are off in Europe, be sure to be with Rail Europe and Rail Bookers. So these are kind of our rail cheat sheets. Any questions so far? Here's one more that I'll actually show you. This is a vendors, commissions, and TA rates kind of cheat sheet. So vacation rentals and cabins, theme parks, commissionable TA rates. So for yourself or for others. So this is kind of another cheat sheet to know how much you're getting. And sometimes it does change and it does update. So for instance, Expedia Tap is a little bit more now, just because we reached another level with their rewards program. And things like Tinleg is now 18% instead of, it used to be 17%. So that's another, sometimes they do change, but this is a good baseline to work from. Viking is really nice. They don't have the percentage here. Viking offers you commission on everything. So everything, not just the base cruise fare. So that's probably why it's empty, but it's a different percentage for each thing. So they do offer commission on air, the cruise rate, extra additional excursions, drink packages, things like that, but at different rates. Here's some other, for rental cars, for instance, this is really nice. You want to go directly to the vendor, to the company, because if you say you book an Alamo rent-a-car through Expedia Tap, you're only going to get 3%. Whereas if you go directly to Alamo, you can get anywhere between 5 and 10. So that's something to keep in mind. If there's ever a company that maybe a client comes to you and says, hey, do you work with this company? You can always Google it. So Google that company plus travel agent, and you can typically find out if there is an agent portal or if they work with agents. That's kind of what I did, Diana, with C-Jets, and they came back and it was really weird. And so I didn't know how to fill out this form. So I contacted Archer, and we have a guy that's dedicated to that and suppliers and filling out those forms. So if you ever have any questions and the greater team doesn't know the answer, Archer and Evolution are always a great resource for that as well. Do I prefer Europe Express or Viator for Europe excursions? So I've been doing a lot of piecemeal things in Europe, and I've been liking Viator because it's all free 24-hour cancellation, and all their customer service is really nice. So I will say that I've used Viator mostly for my European excursions.
Okay, yeah, because all mine is piecemeal as well, right? So I'm just doing like little things here and there. And so I was on a webinar yesterday for Europe Express, and I'm like, oh, and they said, oh, but we have individual tours. And so that's why I wanted to ask you if you've used them for that, or yeah. Okay, great. And then I have a question on the rental car then. So good to know that go directly to the site and not through Expedia Tap, because I've been booking mine through Expedia Tap. Do you find that the pricing, because I'm more interested in the pricing, not for my own travel, not necessarily for the commission. Do you find Expedia Tap to be less in pricing and less in commission, or is it still cheaper to go through the actual like Alamo Enterprise?
I think the pricing is typically similar because it's pretty standard, you know, depending on where you are and how long you have and the type of car you have. So I think the pricing is very similar, but then if you can earn more in commission by directly signing up with them, or, you know, I was in a bind, car broke down, I went on Expedia Tap and rented myself a car because I was like, you know what, I was just in a bind. I needed a car right then and there, and I ended up getting, you know, the 3% commission on it. I didn't have the time to like really, you know, sign up, do all the things, and go through all the pieces. So in a pinch, I think it was great too. And then you get the commission as well. So I think base price wise, I think price is about the same. But you know, once you're signed up, why not make more commission?
Absolutely. Yeah, totally
Right.
smart. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's another kind of good cheat sheet too, to kind of figure out what these percentages are. And again, it can change, but for the most part, this is a good guide. So let's see. I talked about that. All right. So I love sharing information. If you find anything worth sharing, send it to me, because then I'll add it to our Google Drive here. Yeah. Any questions?